Welcome to Deep Thought. Pay attention to your nonverbal presentation. Now, the past couple of days, I've been talking about culture and walking and everything. And one of the things that I pay attention to is just how people move without saying a word. See, understand something with communication. Verbal communication, rather, is only 8% of communication. Most communication is nonverbal. Let me say it again. Most communication is nonverbal. Like someone who's really the expert in body language. And I remember someone talking about it was in an article, I believe. I think it was an article. It was a while ago, but I've actually known people who can do that. They've told me they can do this. Like, you can go in a room and you could have two people. Like, say you go into a club or something. And that was the example somebody gave me, a live example. You can go into a club or something, nightclub, and people dancing and everything. You could have a man on one side of the room and a woman on the other side. And this person said, yeah, I could tell they were interested in each other. And even though they were far apart. And I said, well, how could you tell that? And it was a woman who was talking. She was like, I was just looking at their body language, how their bodies were turned towards each other, how they standing and everything. You can tell a lot with that. Because it's a nonverbal thing. Because when you in front of somebody, depending on how you stand, that communicates something. Even you have federal agents who are experts at reading body language like that. That's how deep it is. That's how deep it is. And so you communicating something when you walking with authority. That's communicating something. That's saying to the world, hey, I'm confident. I believe in what I'm doing. I feel good about myself. But then when you walk slow with, you unsure of everything. That says something. There was a young woman I knew, right? I'm pretty good friends with her. I ain't gonna call her name out of respect, but I knew some stuff was going on with her. Like she had some relationship trouble with her longtime boyfriend. And I knew it because of how she was walking. Because when I first met her, before she got the boyfriend, she walked through the world with a confidence, an energetic walk, very energetic, like almost hyper walk. Well, she dealt with this knucklehead for a while, and I will use the word knucklehead. All of a sudden, her walk was slow, unsure, didn't know what she really wanted to do. And it was like, oh, wow. And talk with her, there was indeed some problems. And she was like, how you know? I was just looking at how you moved. Pay attention to that. Now, see, a lot of times you get some people, though, they'll go through life trying to lie to somebody. That's the verbal thing. They'll lie. They'll say, oh, yeah, this is that, and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, well, you don't walk through it. Like, there's a gentleman, I ain't gonna call his name, but this person tries to act like that they're a successful business person. And, I just took one look at the walk, the demeanor and everything, and I was like, let's just say I knew that they weren't. And now and then was able to find out, no, they weren't. They were lying about whatever success they had in life. And, somebody who was close to the situation, well, how'd you know that? I was like, no. Because if you're a man and you're very successful monetarily, first of all, you walk through with confidence. Let's just be real. In this society, if you got money, you walk through because you can take care of stuff. You can buy everything. You got confidence. That gives a man confidence because money gives a man the ability to do. He can do what he need to do. He can do as he pleases. And that's a powerful thing. But when a man doesn't have money in his pockets, when he's struggling, when he can't do the things he wants to do, when he's powerless or he's too dependent on others, even like he can't even live on his own, he's going to walk through unconfident. He's not going to walk through with authority. He's going to be like, he's going to give off a presentation like, yeah, there's some problems. He's not going to walk with his head up. He'll walk with his head down, And there's a lot of little things. I mean, you can tell a lot about somebody. You can tell a lot about somebody, how they look at you. A confident person going to look you in the eye. They're going to communicate. And when they believe in what they're doing, like that's another thing. That's another nonverbal thing. When somebody is explaining something to you and they passionate, their hands might be going all over the place. Their eyes are bright. The tone of their voice is strong and positive. Then that they, that is probably sincere what they're doing. Unless they're an extremely good liar and they can combine it, but those are rare. Because it's hard for people to understand something. One thing when the nonverbal is the subconscious. And it'll show something that the conscious wasn't show. Like I still remember when this guy who, he said he was real good at the game, and on the surface it looked like he was real great with women and real confident with women. But I actually remember a time when me and this gentleman were at a strip club, and the way he was approaching the women just to give them $1, it was very timid. It was very unsure of himself. I'm like, let's give him $1. Well, that's me. That's me. And, just like, oh, okay. And then found out through some other incidents he wasn't the ladies' man that he proclaimed himself to be. But I was paying, and I figured that out paying attention to his nonverbal. I ain't paying as much attention to his verbal. In fact, even then, even when I talk with people personally, and everybody should do this, is there congruence between what they're saying, what's coming out their mouths, and their body language? Are they standing confidently when they're talking about something? Are they unsure? If it's nervous, are they looking down? Stuff like that, And so, I entitled this, Pay Attention to Your Nonverbal Presentation. It's very important that people understand what kind of energy they give off. Because they can say one thing, but the energy doesn't give that off. And then people don't believe them, And I've done that too. I've done that. Remember, I've said it 1,000 times. I'm going to say it 1,000 more. I'm not a guru. And some stuff I talk about because I went through it. Because I remember I was telling a young lady something and she didn't believe me. She didn't believe me. And the reason she didn't believe me because it didn't reflect in my facial. It didn't reflect in how I was looking at her. It didn't reflect in my body language. I was saying something. It was saying something flattering, but she didn't believe me. And I had to be honest with myself. It was like, I don't really believe that either. I remember that. I learned that. It's like, that's why I always say it's actually easy to go through life, just be honest, because people still checking everything. Even if people don't realize it. In fact, women, any women listening, they know it better than men, because women pay more attention to those things than men do. Men might just go on the word. The woman's like, oh, okay, what's his face saying? What's his body saying? What they might, and they'll call it a vibe or something. But all that is just the body. What's the body communicating? In fact, it's deep to the point where two people could have a conversation. Verbally, they saying one thing, but body language-wise, it's a totally different conversation. Like two men who got an issue with each other ready to fight. They could be sounding all polite if you listen to the conversation. But shoot, while he's saying that, both their, one's hands are twitching because he's trying to keep it out of a fist. The other one might just say, fuck it, have his hands balled up. Their muscles will be tense and everything. Their stance will be like almost a fighting stance. That's how deep it is. So the thing is, of course, learn to read others, but learn to read yourself or get an idea of what you're presenting to the world. What's your nonverbal language? What's it saying? And it's important. It's important how you relating to people. It could be important if you're in business. It can be important if you're going for a job. If you're trying to woo a mate. Pay attention to your nonverbal presentation. So anyway, I want to thank y'all for listening. I want everybody to keep rising and transforming. Peace.